Hi, my name is Sola, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I share my life, my experience, and my journey. I moved to United States 8 years ago, completely alone, without documents, without a job, without English, without friends, and without any kind of support. I truly started my life from zero. When I say zero, I mean absolutely zero, like nothing. I work everywhere. I work in motels, hotels, and restaurants. I cleaned rooms, washed dishes, served tables. I even helped clean the Florida Keys after a hurricane. I took any job that would allow me to survive. I went through like all kind of work, especially the hardest and most physically demanding ones. Was crazy time. Over time, my English slowly improved, my documents eventually became legal, and I was able to move into slightly better positions. I work as the waitress, hostess, and jobs that looked more normal from the outside. But nothing about my journey was easy. So then COVID happened. At that time, I was living in Los Angeles with my boyfriend, and overnight, we both lost our jobs like millions of other people. Everything was closed, no work, no stability, like no certainty. During that period, one profession became extremely popular. It's a truck driving. Many of our friends were already in the industry and they were like making very good money. In some cases, really huge money. When you hear those numbers while having like no income, of course, you start thinking about it seriously. So we wanted to get into trucking too because it was crazy good money. But schools were closed, nothing was operating, and training was expensive. So we waited, we did delivery jobs, worked wherever we could, saved every dollar, cut expenses, and tried to collect enough money, to eventually go to trucking school. We also decided to move to Florida because at that time getting a CDL there was much faster than in California. In California, the process could take up like 2 months by that time. And in Florida, once you were ready, you could take the exam like almost immediately. So it was really good. As soon as everything reopened, we went to Florida. I passed my CDL exam, I got my license, and I got behind the wheel of a truck, big truck, yes. That's when everything changed in my life. I started sharing my life on social media, mostly for the like Russian speaking community. I'm originally from Kazakhstan, and like Russian is my second language, so it felt natural for me. I began showing what it's really like to work as a truck driver in United States. So at that time, and now I am very petite. I'm like 160 centimeters tall and around like 40 kilograms. I wanted to show that even a small, fragile woman could handle such a like a difficult job. But it was not easy. It was extremely hard. I had many dangerous situations. There were like moments when I wanted to quit. I cried almost every day. I was scared, exhausted, like overwhelmed, but I didn't give up. After COVID, we had absolutely no money. We were in a debt. Credit cards were like maxed out. So I worked nonstop. I saved every dollar I could. And at the same time, I kept filming content because I genuinely loved it. I loved documenting my life and sharing my reality. So my social media started growing very fast. At that time, especially in the Russian speaking community, no one was showing this. A tiny woman driving a truck across America like shocked people. My content became like popular and I felt, connected to people. I love being in touch with my audience. I loved helping others. I helped many men and women who were like afraid to start, who doubted themselves, who wanted to change their lives but didn't know how. I motivated people who wanted to come to America, like work hard and build something new. So, then the war in Ukraine began, a global economic crisis followed. Many people lost jobs, the economy slowed down, and the trucking industry was hit very hard. I don't claim to know all the exact reasons, but incomes dropped like significantly. I stayed in trucking because I already had my blog. I loved creating content, and sometimes I could earn extra money through ads. So, but overall, the income was very low. At some point, I was living full time in my truck. I didn't have my own place. I didn't to save money. When I had days off, I stayed with my sister, like visited friends or booked hotels or motels sometimes. Financially, it made me more sense than paying rent. So there were weeks when my best income was around like 2000 while I living in a truck. It's 2000, and I understood that I could make similar money working as a hostess in a restaurant, looking nice, going home every night, taking a shower at home, instead of sleeping at truck stops and constantly being in danger. It was so unfair. And yes, there was like danger, a lot of it. Man creating dangerous situation on the road, knocking on my truck at night, forcing me out of like parking spots, approaching me in the truck stops, like following me. Some only left when I said I would call 911, and actually I did. Sometimes I called 911. People think trucking is beautiful roads, like freedom, travel, and easy money, but the reality is very different. You don't sleep properly, you don't eat properly, you don't take care of yourself, especially like as a woman. So you deal with like a harsh weather, like broken equipment, flat tires, rusted trailers, broken handles, often alone in the middle of like nowhere. If something breaks, there may be no one around to help you. Winter, rain, cold, exhaustions, like fair. There was like, yes, there were good times. There were like moments when money was good, when things felt easier, when my blog was growing and I saw more like positive than negative, of course. But still, like, and looking back now, I clearly understand how incredibly hard this job is. From the very beginning, I always told women this is not a woman profession. Just because I manage doesn't mean everyone should do it. During COVID, I had no choice. Was my only option. But if you have a choice today, when everything is open and opportunities exist, there are better paths, like better. I stayed mainly because I love my blog. I love sharing my story, my journey, my reality, honestly, and like without filters. And channel is exactly about that. So if you would like to hear my story, just put the like and maybe some comments if you want to ask me some questions. And of course, the subscription button. And see you on the next video.